This is Swiss and Chips, your British guide to Switzerland.
Hello and welcome to Swiss and Chips. My name is Simon Sried and with me is...
Joe Fay.
Today we are going to talk about Swiss words or German words that are difficult to translate to English.
Exactly.
And that's also why I'm going to do the introduction today, because what I'm going to do is testing Joe in her Swiss German skills.
Let's see how I get on.
Yeah, but before we get started, let's talk about your German exam you are doing. We talked about it a few episodes ago that you have you're taking German lessons and so on, and maybe tell a little bit how it's going.
Yeah, exactly. So roughly 6 weeks ago, I think, I started my C1 German preparation course, something like that. It's got a better name than that in real life. And in 2 weeks' time, I'll be taking my C1 German exam.
Ooh, exciting.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Already nervous or?
Not yet.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah, but basically I signed up to an 8-week course to kind of prepare me for it. And I thought some people might find it interesting to find out exactly what happens in the course. And basically...
Maybe, sorry to interrupt, but before you did this course at the Mikro-Clubschule, and now you're doing it at the Volkshochschule.
Exactly.
Can you maybe quickly discuss what the difference is and what you are doing at the moment?
Yeah, so first of all, I did a sort of ordinary C1 course, which is split into 4 parts, I think. 4 parts or 3 parts. And I just went twice a week and basically worked my way through the textbook with the teacher and the other people in the class.
At the Mikro-Clubschule.
At the Mikro-Clubschule, yeah. And that's a bit more relaxed than the exam preparation course, because you're there sort of learning C1 level stuff and chatting a bit about what's happening in the news and talking to each other and stuff like that. And the difference is this course I'm now doing at the Volkshochschule, easy for you to say, is very intense because it really wants to prepare you for doing an exam. So once a week on a Saturday, I go for 3 hours and you're kind of doing exam drills, basically, practicing the different parts of the test to time and figuring out techniques, sort of how you can do them better.
I see. And what do you think, which one is better? Or does it need both? Or what do you think?
Yeah, good question. I've never done an exam preparation course before, but then again, I've never prepared for such a hard exam before.
Okay, I see.
So this time, I think the thing is, with the exams lower down, it's maybe a bit easier. I mean, I guess it's all relevant, but this time I felt like it was a lot harder. And so therefore, it would also help me if I could prepare for the exam technique as well. Do you see what I mean? To maybe make up a little bit of space where I wasn't so good in German. But that's just my feeling right now.
Yeah, and also the exam you're doing this time is quite more special than a usual exam. It takes the whole day and different parts and so on. So I think it's quite good to know what you can expect.
Yeah, exactly. And to really practice doing the things within the set time. Because
otherwise you're there in the exam and they say, so now you do this. And you're like, oh, what?
Yeah, exactly. You don't know, am I going to hear it once or twice? And there are some funny bits in the exam where, for example, you fill out answers, you make rough notes on a sheet, and then you have about 5 minutes to transfer your answers onto another sheet. So if you mess that up, you could really screw up the entire exam if you don't figure out how to do that properly. And it's quite intense. And also getting used to writing by hand under time pressure is something really different, because nowadays, when do you write by hand?
Yeah, it's true.
And that's taking quite a lot of practice.
Okay, great. So we will hear soon how it went. Huh?
Yes, whatever happens, I'll let you know.
Great. So let's move on to our topic today, which is, what did I say? Swiss or German words that don't translate directly into English. Yeah, or quite hard to translate, or are kind of slang or something you might hear in Switzerland and think, what exactly is that? Mm-hmm. So let's get a bit into it.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the word in Swiss German and you can maybe hopefully explain a little bit what it could mean.
Okay.
Has to be said for every listener out there. I haven't told you before the word, so you will hear it also for the first time. So it will be quite tricky.
Okay.
What we always did also this time, which is the most exciting part from our side, is we asked the question in our Facebook group.
Hooray!
Which is called
Switzerland for English Speakers.
Yes, join in and discuss and connect. And yeah, we are really happy about every new person that is coming and connecting and so on. So this time we asked, do you know any German or Swiss German word that doesn't really translate to English? And we had a few replies, a few comments, which I thought were really good examples. So I'm gonna start. These ones you have probably already seen in the group, but let's get started anyway. Susy Jaber-Kissling. I hope also I spell all the
this
names
the hardest part
somehow
of the test,
correctly.
Pronouncing people's names.
So Susy, she said Schadenfreude. So what might that mean?
Well, I think this is quite a famous one, so I hope I'm going to explain it right, because if I don't, people may have Schadenfreude because of me.
That would be me, yeah.
I think it's basically when you can sort of be happy at someone else's expense.
Exactly. So what do you have a word in English that comes as close as possible? I would say it's if you feel good for someone's bad luck. So but it's not, it can be mean, but usually it's a little bit on the edge. It's like typical what you said now. So you're a bit on the hot seat now.
Yeah,
and so
exactly.
I kind of feel a bit,
enjoying somebody else's misfortune.
Yeah, maybe.
So it can be kind of funny like now, but it can be also kind of mean, I think, no?
Yeah.
Like someone you don't
totally,
like.
Yeah.
If something bad happens to them, then you can be like, yes.
Yeah, depends in which context you would use it. Second was Seamus word. Seamus. Oh.
Now I've got the Schadenfreude.
Great. So
I think
Seamus.
it's an Irish name, Seamus,
Okay,
so you can
I'm
be
really
forgiven
sorry,
for not knowing
Seamus.
how to say that.
Seamus, he said Spitzli.
Ah, yes.
Which I thought it would translate, but does it?
Well, we don't have one word for that, but I would say...
So first of all, what does it mean?
Ah, right. I think it means a teeny tiny bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so a little bit, a bit of a little bit.
A bit of a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't want that much cake. I just want a little bit of the cake.
Yeah, exactly.
And a bit less.
Yeah, so you would hear quite often say somebody, a spitzli for them, a bit of that.
Okay, for example, when you're ordering a bit of those large chocolate slabs that you can find in the shop.
Yep, exactly.
But you would never order just a tiny bit of that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I
mean you, I mean
I needed to process. Do you really not want the whole thing? But anyway, third word, which came from Katharina Hammer, was Fremdschämen.
Oh, Fremdschämen. Well, I guess
Fremdschämen. So feeling embarrassed for somebody else.
Oh, I see.
It means.
Right.
So, for example, you are in a big presentation and it's just, or even better, sometimes in some films you see that when somebody is really in such an embarrassing situation and you feel embarrassed for them.
Yeah,
you know
totally.
I mean? You don't need to because you are not in trouble, but you feel embarrassed. So you feel embarrassed for another person. So that means you do Fremdschämen, means like fremd is like
foreign,
embarrassed.
Yeah. No, we definitely don't have a word for that.
Okay, you should. I think it's quite often used.
Yeah.
The feeling is, you have quite often in films or...
you know what we have? I mean, it's not quite the same, but we have cringing.
Okay.
I mean, it's just when you're like, oh no, you feel terrible because someone is really screwing something up.
Then another word came again from Susy, and that was Längizit.
Long time.
Basically, yes, but in one word.
Don't know what that means.
That means you have that's also hard to explain for me because so you would say that, for example, if you have been on a place in Rome, for example, and then you go back and in your head you're always back in Rome, and then another person would see that and know that, and so that person would tell you, oh, do you have Längizit? So you feel you're missing a thing, a person, also an event, or so you can have Längizit from if you haven't seen your parents for a long time, if you haven't been home for a long time, for a special place or a thing that you do, or...
So when you're thinking about and missing something.
Yeah, basically missing, yeah. It's, for example, if you are, imagine you are 6 years old, you go to first time to your grandparents.
Yep.
And then you look sad the whole evening. Then your grandparents will think, oh, you know, she wants to be home.
Aww.
So they will say, do you have Längizit? Hast Längizit? That means you feel pain because you miss something.
God, that's sad. I didn't know that one. Okay, well, great.
So Längizit. Very close to that, there is another word. Now it's not from the Facebook group anymore. I took these words a little bit from our discussion, discussions we sometimes have, or discussions with others I have. One is homesickness. Do you know the Swiss German word for that?
Homesickness.
It's basically a High German word, to be precise.
Ooh, I feel like I know the opposite of this, but I don't know if I know. Oh no, I can't remember it. Oh. This is what it's going to be like at the German exam, isn't it?
You just yeah, exactly. You just look at the Swiss or at German travel blogs. You will find that everywhere. It's Heimweh.
Ah, exactly. That's it. Homesickness, Heimweh, yes.
Exactly. So you are abroad for 5 years, then they will say, do you have Heimweh? Are you homesick? So Heimweh. But what I want to know now is the opposite word.
Yes, this one I know. Fernweh.
Yeah! Exactly. So that's the two words you will find in all travel blogs. Heimweh and Fernweh. So Heimweh means homesick.
Yep.
Fernweh means...
Well, it's wanting to go somewhere else.
Yeah, it's basically the same like feeling homesick, but the opposite.
And the funny thing is, the opposite in English, travel sick, would not mean the same thing. That would mean, when you feel sick while traveling because you're on a bus or something. Yeah.
So far sick, it means word by word translation, it's more like far sick.
Yeah.
Fernweh, really important word. Then next word to ask you is Feierabend. I'm sure you have heard that many times.
Yes.
Or in Swiss German, Feierabend.
Yeah, this one I know. And it confused me for quite a long time. So I'm going to estimate what it is, because I have to say I'm still not exactly sure. So I always thought that it was about a Friday night, when you finish work for the week and it's like, well, hey, it's, free evening, basically. Your evening off, ready to go and let loose, go wild. However, I'm pretty sure I've heard people saying it in the week as well.
Yeah. So Feierabend means it's basically the end of the working day. So like when you work till 5 in Switzerland, roughly, I say between 4 and 6 you're working usually. So you work till 5, let's say, and then before you leave, someone will say, oh, have a nice Feierabend. Schöne Feierabend. So that means have a nice end of working day. So the rest of the day after work, basically. It's any day.
Gotcha. And you don't necessarily have to go crazy. You could just go home and watch TV.
Yeah,
Is that also
basically
a fine
have a nice evening, that means. But it's just more specific, a nice evening after work. Because you leave work, then you say have a nice evening after work. So.
Gotcha, nice.
Then... that we talked already about, so I know you must know it.
We'll see.
Pressure is getting high. So what do you get after a day out running? And the next day you were heavy running, and the next day you have a...
Muskelkater.
Oh, yes!
This one I know, yeah. Because we've discussed this quite a lot.
So Muskelkater means in English?
Well, muscle ache, right? But the difference here is that it's specifically after doing exercise.
Yeah, it's just the ache you have, and you have basically sore muscles, no?
Isn't exactly, yeah.
But it's usually you have this, like you were at the gym or you played some sport, and then the next day or 2 days later your muscles ache.
I know the difference.
And that's more
you would say, I have muscle ache, but we would say, for example, my legs really ache.
Okay.
It's not a thing you have.
So we are almost halfway through. Anyway, and I think it's enough for today. Or what do you think?
Oh, definitely, yes. I need a bit of a lie down.
Very good. So I think we save the rest then for in 2 weeks' time. And if you know any words that we haven't talked about yet, let us know in our Facebook group, which is called
Switzerland for English Speakers.
Yes, exactly. And also you can write us an email or find us on Twitter. But I think before we spell out everything, just go to our website, which is called
swissandchips.com.
Exactly.
You can contact us on there.
Oh, I really feel a little bit like, your German exam, and I'm the,
examiner.
What now? And do this and do that, say this.
How do you spell Schadenfreude?
Yeah, exactly. What is a Muskelkater? Tomorrow you will have one. Okay, so I think this was it. And
thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.